Hello, I'm live and I'm fighting with my headphones right now, but it's a dad thing. We're okay. We're good. Look at that. Hopefully you can hear me, Roman.
I can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you.
All
I
right.
couldn't earlier because I had my stuff turned off. That's what happens before these streams. Zaxx and I are trying to figure out how to make things that we know how to do work. It's very exciting.
I had to make a run while we were doing the Gina down to plug in my LAN cable because I forgot to do that. And so as soon as I click Gina, the wireless is like Wi-Fi is like no. And so it was stuttering for me, so I can't imagine what it's like for other people. And so took care of that, and now it's fine. We're good.
It's fine. That's what I say all day to get through the day. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Small fire, the car's in the middle of the lawn. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, exactly. Like, and things are on fire. As a parent, you deal with that.
That's true. All the time.
We got Nosferatu the Vampire here. Dilfs of Doom read once more. Thanks, Nos. William Richards, Coach Taylor is hella overrated. Fight me. No, I will fight you, but he's not overrated. Maybe possibly the greatest fake football coach of all time. Hello, Jay the Deep Minded. Thanks for coming. Subtle Deviancy, even though Subtle has pointed out that he cannot spawn younglings, he is here to join us. So thank you.
True.
Subtle. Pops, my dude. Good to see you. Thanks for being in the chat today, and thanks for coming on the show. The virgin episode of whatever this show is going to be called. Dadstream, Dadvice, Dadtopia.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
It is. Hail to the men, Brandon the internet guy. Thanks for coming. Backyard TARDIS. Hail, Backyard TARDIS. Thanks for coming. And yet he is a dad. And so speaking of which, if you're a dad or a soon to be dad or you have legal and completely normal access to children you care for, then let us know, and we'd be happy to have a different person on maybe every week to talk about their experiences too.
Because they're all different. They are all different. Some horrible, some wonderful, but they're all different.
Oh yeah. Jacob Ironside. Hail, Jacob Ironside. Good to see you. Good crew of people here already. I should have said not grew. Although that's a fun comic. Okay. So Roman, how have you been?
I've been busy. We talked about this for like half a minute before the show. I've been crazy busy though. So this is all related to dad stuff, but in a weird and wonderful way. So I just started up with my band again, doing some music stuff. We're recording, and I'm learning how to do that because I don't just intuitively know how to do anything, even though you lie to your children and say that you do. Yeah. So I'm having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to work on my music stuff before the rest of the family gets up, and it's time for breakfast and all the normal churning of the day, so that I can get in here and do the rest of the things that I'm supposed to be doing with my life. So it's busy. It's busy. I'm tired. I'm very tired. How are you?
I'm good. Back from the wonderful state of Florida.
Yes. How was your trip?
It was it turned out fantastic, and a lot of that was thanks to the US healthcare system, which is very expensive and somewhat maligned, but it's super effective. I found we were flying down, my kid was ill, didn't know with what. Yeah, on the plane he started acting a bit strange. He's almost never sick, so it was a bit of a concern, and his stomach was bugging him, and so we started throwing up as soon as we land. And
on the plane,
just got off the plane, so thankfully
at least there was that.
Speaking of that, we're gonna have to play a game of your suggestion of what was that smell.
What's that smell?
Yeah. Real dads wear black tees. You're damn right they do, Copa. Damn right they do. So we land, and my wife was super paranoid because, for justifiable reasons, she had appendicitis when she was 7, and so did her sister. And so my kid's 7, and he's got stomach issues and can't really explain because of his language barriers, like what's going on, except for his tummy hurts, and he's vomiting. So we end up, hey, Bobby Wold. We mask mandates. Callie, that sucks. We land, we wait till the next day. He has a bit of a fever, not too bad. She has paranoid appendicitis, and so we go to ER, which first of all was cool because the ER we went to is called Advent, and I don't know anything about the system, but if they actually had Bible verses on the walls and things like it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, we don't have that here. In fact, you'd probably get set on fire for trying to get that here. But I think it's an amazing, awesome thing. No matter who, like, no matter what your, I guess your faith would be, like they're all, important and useful, ideas.
So this was this a private vendor that you ended up at for
Yeah,
however reasons?
The closest ER was called Advent. We didn't know.
Oh, okay, got it.
It was private, I believe.
Oh, there's Pops. Okay, explaining it.
Pops would know. Yes, there you go.
Okay, nice. We don't have that in California. We have the opposite. We have the Satan Healthcare Center here. It's not nearly as well attended, and the care isn't fantastic. I'll let you know that. So go on, please.
6. Oh, I don't hate hamsters. You hate hamsters, Roman?
I what? I don't think I've ever. I didn't know. No, I buried a hamster
Alive
by the air conditioning unit. If you'll recall the story from last time,
right.
I didn't hate the hamster. Well, I didn't love the hamster either. The hamster was a biter. Not a big fan of biters. But I didn't want him dead. He just died. Anyway, sorry.
Apparently, God is banned in California. No, Mossad. Not exactly. Hey, Ryan, Roger, Athe. So we go there and there's no one else there. We go to an ER. There's no one there except for staff, which is
wow,
like incredible, right? Get in right away, and then it's like an F1 team. So this is a shout out to Jay in the chat. It's like an F1 mechanics team where like all these people converge, and they start doing all these tests. Like we had multiple nurses, a doctor, a CT scan. They drew blood, which was a bit of a it was about a 20-30 minute wrestling match with my son and I to get the blood drawn properly.
Oh, I understand that, my friend. I do.
I think I still have a bruise actually from that. So
combat blood taking. Yep, that's a thing.
Yep. And so they were incredible and fast, and they found out it was a strep infection, which I didn't know you could get anywhere than in your throat.
I didn't know that either. That's interesting.
Total news to me. And IV antibiotics, fluids, $7,000 later, plus another bill we got for $1,300 after the fact. And we're good to go, and our vacation was saved. But luckily, we have 3 insurance.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Is it going to cover the whole thing?
It should. It should.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
That's a little bit, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to call it 10 grand. And the issue is they won't tell us what the last bill is for. Like it doesn't say. It's just, we didn't bill you enough, so here's an extra bill. And it doesn't say specifically for what. So, yeah, my kid took me to Suplex City. Yeah, he definitely tried to. And then that was one of the funny things is they're testing for his lactic acid. And the doctor's like, his lactic acid is through the roof. I'm like, well, of course it is. He was just fighting me for 20 minutes. Of course his lactic acid is high. That's what it's from and things like that. But they were amazing. Like here, we would have not got seen. He would have been sick for days before he got any kind of help whatsoever. And the vacation would have been over. So, I mean, hopefully the insurance comes through. And
well, I certainly hope so, because that's
thanks, Pops. I appreciate that.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And it's unexpected. I mean, it's one thing if you have one of, something comes up, it's coming, you're prepared for it, you're bracing for impact.
Right.
But out of the blue, that's a whole other critter. That's wow. Well, I'm glad he's good to go and that they were able to take care of it. But wow.
I have to say, like, it was a great experience aside from the cost, but they gave him a CT scan, which like here it would take months to get. Like we would not get one. It wouldn't be a thing.
Oh, and I mean, I'm assuming, and this is just me speculating, and please tell me if I'm wrong, that a lot of the things they had to do were because he's not able to relay how what's going on. So they're just kind of throwing everything at the wall to see what they can find.
Yeah, and the idea that we had that it may be an emergency sort of pushed them to do that. And also, of course, there's the part of me that realizes that this is a bit like the vets are in Canada, where you take your dog to the vet and they like really want to do they want to run every test they possibly can because that's that's how they make their money, right? And
yeah, that's a, I mean, that's a whole, if we could do the pet stream, that's a whole nother stream. Oh my God.
But if it was a hamster, I would save that hamster no matter what, Six. I want you to know.
I would not save the hamster. I would not save the hamster. Although we did go to tremendous lengths for the guinea pig. That guinea pig, Sam the guinea pig, friend all animals, was very fragile, and he broke because he just whatever he did, he managed to break every limb at one point or another. And Mrs. of the Empire would have to give him baby aspirin in pineapple juice, is what the vet said. So she had to with the little drop thing, squeeze it into his mouth, and she used to have to give him baths. And I didn't have to deal with this because I was at work all the time, so I barely even knew we had Sam the guinea pig. But it wasn't I didn't. He died as well. But if that's what pets do,
they do. If Copa's still in the chat, can we say guinea pig still? Are we allowed to say guinea pig?
Now that we talk about it. Well, they eat those things down in South America.
Wow. You definitely can't say that.
Well, no, they do. It's funny because there's like a picture of the Last Supper, except it's a guinea pig on the table instead of unleavened bread. It's a little weird.
Wow.
Well, I don't know why I even have that bit of knowledge in my head. I wish I did. I wish there was room for something else.
You got to delete that. Make some space. We've got lovely Sherry's here now too. Tina Bojan bounced in. Good to see you, Tina. Thanks for coming, both of you. Posted it on Twitter, Zaxx. Okay. The hamster hate?
The picture of the guinea pig at the Last Supper? There's so many questions here.
Okay. So with your music, you've been that's been my sort of experience. What was the trip? Oh, I have a great Disney story because Disney gets a lot of shit, and deservedly so. They probably deserve more shit than they get. So I'm not a Disney apologist, and hail to you, Adiga Outlaw. However, Jana, hey Jana, good to see you. However, we were at Disney, and we've been there for about 6 hours. Day was getting a bit long. It was super hot, great weather in Florida, amazing weather in Florida, actually. Pops can vouch for that. It was about 30 Celsius, which is, I don't know, something high 80s probably in Fahrenheit. And so he wanted ice cream, and we were trying to find a place that had ice cream. And we walked through Main Street Confectionery, which is one of the in Magic Kingdom, one of the Main Street places, mostly because it had air conditioning, not because we were looking for ice cream. But
to win.
It was a win. And the AC there is powerful. Like, you guys, they're not messing around. You walk in and it feels pretty good. But he thinks we're going there for ice cream. So when we try to leave, he has an absolute meltdown. Like, not like a screaming meltdown, but like it starts with like the silent cry where he makes the best face. And so he's just like, right. And then he starts crying. And so we're standing there, and I'm trying to get him ushered out, right? And move along kind of thing. And he is just like beside himself. And so this woman, one of the staff comes running over, older woman. She appeared to be Latina, and comes running over. And I thought, oh man, like, is she gonna be mad at us for making a scene, and or did he like knock something over? But she's like, oh, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, he just wanted ice cream, and we can't get ice cream here. And she's like, oh, okay, come with me. And then so she goes running over to the counter, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? And I've she doesn't say anything about what she's doing, so I kind of get him over there somewhat, but he doesn't want to go over to the counter anymore either. He's just meltdown mode. And this staff member there makes him this like Slurpee style drink with the gummy lifesavers on the straw, and comes running back over and just gives it to him and says, here, do you like this? And yeah, I do. And so he was okay. And then she's like, you guys have a great day. And nothing.
That's a win. That's great, man. Wow.
No charge. No, nothing. She just like absolutely saved the day. And I was kind of like shocked. I would never have expected that. I expected the opposite kind of interaction, like get out of the store. You guys
Right.
are gonna
Get 'em out,
scare
get
off
'em
other
out, get 'em out.
customers. Yeah, your kid's
Yeah.
being weird. But they were like, and there was a couple people like that there that were just unbelievable. I don't know how. So some of, like, I will say, I did Legoland too, did Disney, but the staff at
Oh,
Disney,
wow.
as much as Disney was packed and busy and waiting in lines and all that, the people who worked there were pretty, at least on the surface, seemed pretty good, great in some cases. And Legoland staff, not quite as good. Park maybe a bit better. But yeah, that's my Disney story. So credit to Disney for the thing that they did. Appreciate that.
That's fantastic. That is a good, I mean, you're right. You don't see that. Usually you get the look. Someone is concerned, but not because of, your kid. They're concerned because of a scene.
Yeah.
And I do get that. I understand that completely. I mean, Disneyland, not Disney World, Disneyland, California is the last place we did our family vacation back in 2013.
Okay.
Yes, 2013. That was our last family vacation. And oddly enough, the year before 2012 was our first family vacation ever because of, the situation. So it was kind of crazy. But I'm glad that worked out. That's cool.
And let me call everyone's attention to the chat where there's a pinned comment, which is Roman's YouTube channel, which would be great if you're not subbed for whatever reason, you should be. Go sub to Roman.
Oh, well, thank you. I do appreciate that.
We have the lovely Josh here.
Josh!
Dropping in. Thank you, Josh, for giving us a comment. Jana Catania has come in, and they're supposed to be at work, both her and Copa, but they're playing hooky to hang out with us. So that's great.
Work.
So the Bobby, the Disney stuff, I just went Magic Kingdom. That's it. So, and Typhoon Lagoon. So I don't know what happened. The rest of the park, it could have been great, could have been garbage, could have been closing down. Galaxy's Edge sounds like it's probably gonna be a problem for them.
So thank you, Pops. That's
Chillwall. Hope you're healing up okay, Chillwall.
Man.
Major
prayers for our brother.
But he is hopeful he'll be up for your show on Thursday.
So. Yeah, we were actually we were doing a test stream last night because I was testing out the new setup here to see if it was actually doing what I needed it to do. And it was him and Blair to Blair. So yeah, we were able to chat for a bit as much as he could, but he did well, and it's good. Like I said, hopefully he's all healed up soon. Thank you, Copa. I appreciate that. We have to stick together. Our people, my friend. Thank you, Pops. Yes.
Okay, so there's a trick to this actually, which is why the Flacids have that as a gimmick. Because if you unsub from someone and you resub, your resubs go to the top of your notifications list to a new sub. So part of the reason he does that is because he knows if you really go through with it, he'll be at the top of your list again. Smart guy. Hey, PJ,
maybe in here. What I see? Wow. Hey, PJ.
Away from across the pond.
Talking about Roman. Nice. Thank you. What time is it over there? Okay, it's pretty early. It's only like 9 o'clock over there. PJ from the UK.
Yeah, he's turned full heel. I could see that.
Yeah.
Jacob, he's like one of those really great people who, like, if he turns full heel, he could really do some damage, I think.
Well, he's been dealing with that raccoon problem. Which is, it's not entirely dissimilar. It's larger. It's got opposable thumbs. You don't want them in the house.
Joel is your twin. Okay. I definitely offer you all the well wishes in the world, Jana. And you are a trooper because you are at work, even though you're very, 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 very pregnant. So you are a machine. Respect to you.
Amazing.
And we are on Rumble too. And yeah. So if you want to, you can also go over there, but there's no requirement to do so. Yeah, it's a good policy analysis to
You
report,
report every flaccid stream. Well, yeah, I think we all do.
So what? Give me what's that smell story? Your best. Your one.
Okay,
There's got to be many.
This is my favorite. And if you have a boy child, it's not limited to boy children, but it's mostly boy children. You will have some point where you have the what's that smell game, and where is it coming from? This particular instance, I think we can probably go back. He may have been, let's call it 7 or 8. So the early 2000s. And Mrs. of the Empire and I are driving. I think we were probably on our way to dinner, because we have one night a week that we get to go to dinner. And my son's school bag was still in the back of the car, which annoyed me because that meant he wasn't doing his schoolwork, but that's neither here nor there. But we noticed an aroma in the van, and we narrowed it down. It's like, did someone get sick in the van? It doesn't appear so. Is there a dead animal in the van? Maybe. But we honed in on it, and it turned out to be my son's school bag. You know, you've all seen the movie Seven. You know, what's in the box? I felt like that, and I unzip the bag. You know, it's one of those stupid JanSport backpacks, and it hits me, and I'm like, oh God. Open the bag up, and what I discover in there is a putrefied, liquefied bag, just a Ziploc bag of what once had been, let's call it maybe a week or two earlier, chicken nuggets.
Oh,
they don't last forever.
No.
We ended up having to throw out the bag and pretty much everything in it. It was just thinking about it now, it rises in me. The what's that smell game is never fun. You're never finding anything good at the end of the what's that smell game. It's a variation of that theme, you know. But it's like the Tyson nugget. It was so bad. It was those V-chip. It was the dinosaur shapes. Well, they had been dinosaur shapes. Then they just kind of just turned into this gelatinous mass that smelled like, you know, a corpse that had been around for several days unattended. It was so bad.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a few of those. I got one too. But first of all, Six, thank you very much for $10. Nothing but love from Six. Thank you very much. I will give you Mags's favorite clip.
Photojournalist Brad Rice shows us how a forestry instructor gets his students to make and play the North American the flute in this traveling West Virginia segment.
Thank you very much, Six. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you being here. So thank you. For my story, so we've had this smell in our basement of Parmesan cheese. Well, my wife pointed out as Parmesan cheese. It smelled bad to me. She's like, I think there's Parmesan cheese down here. And like, so she did a whole thing of like thinking maybe there was some spilled cheese downstairs, but there's no, like, I don't know how it would get down here because we don't eat down here. So, I mean, the odds of me bringing a piece of pizza down and some loose Parmesan getting on the floor.
Unlikely.
Yeah, to the point where you could smell it that much later. And then it turns out, so in one of these chairs that we have, my son, it seems he started taking to eating bowls of Parmesan cheese. And he let with those little like plastic bowls that kids use. And
I know the bowls.
And the whole thing is slid into the back of the chair. And so that would have been about a month, and it was pretty rank, and it was worse when you sat down, but I couldn't figure out why it would be when I sat down. But of course, you sit down and it pushes all the air of the chair out, and it's like you think, maybe do I stink? And maybe I do, but not like
is that me?
So yeah, is that me?
Now when you discover, it's true. Now when you discovered this bowl of Parmesan, what was the physical status of the
It honestly it was pretty fine. Like I wouldn't eat it, but
but it wasn't furry.
no, it was
That's
still
fascinating.
kind of preserved. So maybe
That's
because it was
interesting. I would take the
dry.
cheese over the chicken. I would take the cheese over the chicken.
Yeah, I would agree with you on
And
that
damn
one.
dino nuggets. That's true. It's true.
And here we have the issue of if you do get stuff that your kids are eating stuck in your car, it's winter, and so if you don't find it right away, it freezes, and then so you don't really notice it that much until because by the time your
Oh,
car gets warmed up enough for it to thaw, it's like you're
yeah. See,
gonna
we don't have that problem here.
no, you have the opposite
'Cause
problem.
it never freezes. So yeah, during the summer, it's like it's a hot box in there. You see, and this is one instance. There are others. And it's like things are tied together. Things are tied together when you're a parent. You realize where are my pint glasses? Who knows? And then you go into the room to do a random sweep. And this is again we'll call this between the ages of 7 and 12 because I can't pin it down exactly. You go in the room to do a random sweep, looking for said pint glasses because there's somewhere, and there's one prime suspect in your lineup.
Yep.
And so you go in the room, you open the room door, it's like, oh no, what now? And you go back down the list of questions again. Yeah, did someone get sick in here? Is something dead in here? And he has had one of those captain's beds. So it's the bed, and then below the bed, the mattress are a series of drawers.
Mm-hmm.
So you open the drawer up, and then much like the bag with the chicken in it, it hits you. Oh! He had let milk. He'd been drinking milk, and don't ask me to explain because I simply cannot. Puts the glass in the drawer of his captain's bed. And it had been there for long enough so that smell, that sour milk smell, was just hanging there like a fog, like a mist in a bog. So what's that smell? It's not a good game.
No. And you'd think like there's no reason I should look in the drawer for milk.
Waiting for Roman to compare decayed food to dead hamsters. So, here's the funny thing: that the dead hamster didn't actually smell. Don't know how long he'd been gone. It wasn't that long. It was long enough so that like I said, the daughter of the empire would have been traumatized by the incident. But he himself was not a stinky fella. So take the dead hamster over the chicken nuggets or the aged milk any day.
Roman is the BTK of hamsters. Confirmed.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? It seems that's not kind. That wasn't meant to make me feel good.
The apples in the bag as a liquid that would not smell nice either. No.
Ooh. Oh no. Rotting fruit is not good. It's not good at all. Zoinks. It's funny the things kids, and I don't know why they do this. Why they don't just take it out of the bag and throw it away. I myself have no explanation for why they just don't get rid of it. Instead, they leave it somewhere. Now the Parmesan cheese, I can't begin to explain that. That's a bit nuanced as far as the but the or just putting the glass as opposed to that I can actually pinpoint the glass thing. The glass thing was laziness. Why he was drinking milk in his room, I can't say anyway, because he shouldn't have been. Maybe he was trying to hide the glass so we wouldn't know he was drinking milk in the room. But by doing that, of course, we knew he was drinking milk in his room.
Right.
I lost many a pint glass that day because you can't fix that. You can't fix that. I can't drink beer out of that afterwards because you're drinking beers with your buddy and they're like, "This is funny. Is this a different kind of IPA?" It's like, uh-oh. So no. Well, that's part of today's stream.
That was
you'll be experiencing this soon.
Yeah, my fun. So, this is sort of somewhat related. This is a connected story, and you'll know this one, Janice, soon enough. And that's when your kid is in sports and also in school. There's often, like, especially here with hockey, because rink ice times are like booked solid, so you get whatever times you get.
Ah,
And so we used to have a tradition called eating in the car Tuesdays, where um he had hockey at 4:30, and so you pick him up from school and you have to go right to hockey.
oh boy.
There's no stopping at home. So there's eating in the car Tuesdays, which of course means you're probably eating fast food, which is not the best thing to put in your kid, but you do what you got to do when you're a dad.
That's
Um,
true.
and it takes a while to get their hockey stuff on, so you got to get there, get on the ice, whatever. And then so what you get from that is the following spring when you're cleaning your car and you find little pieces of food stuck everywhere in every little crevice you can imagine, which he might have learned from my younger brother, because what he used to do at dinner was we had a kitchen table with like hollow legs, and that story kind of finishes itself because he used to stick his food
No.
into the hollow legs that he didn't want to eat. Yeah.
Oh
gross.
Lord.
It's as gross as it sounds.
See, and looking back on that, that's a problem we as parents create for ourselves sometimes. It's like with the food thing, the food he doesn't want to eat.
Mhm.
That means, your folks, or me, or my parents, you're going to eat that. Well, we'll see. And if you tell me I have to eat it and I don't want to eat it, I'm going to find, and children do, a clever way not to eat it. You're better off just letting it go. Go with something else. And it can be wasteful, yes. However, the treasure hunt later on for what's that smell is not worth the battle of wills over food they may or may not want to eat. They'll figure things out eventually for themselves. Well, I don't want them to become a picky eater.
Right.
You know what? For the longest time, my son Jacob of the Empire ate nothing but Cheerios and cheese balls, with the occasional good meal he would whittle in there just for our sake. But they get over things like cheese. I don't like cheese. You do like cheese. You eat cheese in lots of things. You just don't know you're eating it. But if you try to force the issue, that's where it becomes, like I said, the battle of wills. And it's and I guess, it's up to you. But what do you want to find later?
That's the real question, right? So this show is also subtitled "Don't Piss Off Six" today.
Oh,
Don't
that's
piss
brilliant.
off Six. Yes, it is. She is a very, very smart woman.
Oh dear. What's wrong with being a picky eater? Here's I myself, I'm a picky eater.
Me too.
And it's not because they didn't try. They did. I'm a little, you'll find this surprising, everyone who's watched me for any amount of time. I'm a little quirky. So I have many things that make zero sense that I won't eat. Will not. It doesn't matter. You could threaten me with death, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
At this point, certainly at this point in my life. But it was not because of my upbringing. And I would say that may have been opposite, because I had the grandparents from the evil grandparents, the grandparents that I'm glad they're dead grandparents.
Nice.
What are you gonna do? That they were you're going to sit at the table until you eat it. So I would just sit there. I sat at that V-chip. I sat at that table for many an hour, just not eating it. And eventually, they gave in and let me go. But
Later,
so it was things like that. So your kid will eat whatever they're going to eat ultimately. Anyway, like I said, it's just, is it worth the fighting? That's up to you. If you're in a time of famine, yes, I can understand that. Or you're making, trying to make do with very limited resources. I get that too. But in a general situation, it's going to work itself out. That's my experience, and certainly with my kids.
So we've got 11 people in Rumble. 26 people looks like here. So smash the like button, peoples, please. All that good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so fuck around and find out. That's
yeah, that's pretty much the moral of the story.
Yeah. So this is from Jacob Ironside. I used to live in Missouri and we were under a tornado warning. We have to go outside to get in the basement. So we go down basement and it's half flooded and there's a bloated dead possum floating. That's not great. Although it could be lunch. No? I don't know.
Ooh. Anything that's bloated, that's not gonna be a good smell. Quirky, I know.
You're quirky.
I know. Yeah,
Confirmed.
Mrs. of the Empire doesn't use that term. She uses a lot of other terms. They're very helpful. I may never financially recover from this. I don't understand.
Okay, so I got a question for the chat here while we're here. Speaking of eating, so when your kid gets older, I have the experience now with my older son. What one factor is the most influential in getting them to eat new foods and broaden their palate? The one thing that will make them do that. What do you think, chat? Oh, Lyle Hammock. Hail. Thank you, Lyle, for $10. What's up, gents?
Oh, Lyle.
Currently working, but I will be lurking and listening. God knows I need the good dad advice I can get. Yes. Hail to you, both my friends. And I hope Mrs. Hammock, Little Hammock are doing well. Thank you very much, Lyle Hammock, for that. I'm going to give you Fat Geralt.
Oh, God damn. That's still good.
Thank you, Lyle. And yeah, I know your work has been busy and a bit complicated lately. So, but good for you for trying to, I guess, ride out that storm there. And thank you for the $10. Very much appreciated. Let's see. Zaxx and Roman remember eating roadkill? Nope.
No.
So,
I have eaten a squirrel.
Oh, really?
You know, it doesn't taste like chicken. They say it does. It does not. I'm not a fan of. This isn't me, and a lot of people are. It's a taste I've never really acquired. Like venison, I don't prefer venison. I don't mind elk though. Why? Couldn't tell you. Wild boar, like it. Don't like squirrel. Don't prefer venison. Again, why these? Because who knows. Yeah, I don't remember why I was eating squirrel. We lived in the Northeast when I was a boy. I'm sure someone must have been hunting and brought the damn things home and then gave them to the family. Like, here, just fry them up. And then they did.
Wow. I have never heard of that. But
you've never consumed squirrel?
Never, no. And what's with you and rodents?
As a man of the great white north, I don't understand.
You have been oppressing rodents for most of your life.
I know. No, now that we go back to it, that may have been the thing. That may have been the thing that drove me over, the squirrel incident.
So PJ Maybe says I was a picky eater so much that my mom would mess with me. She would feed me whatever I said I like for each meal every day until I got sick of it. That's a thing. And ask for something else. Not as picky now.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Jacob. Okay. Yeah, eating it for the first time at somewhere they think is cool, friend's house, restaurant. Yes, you're getting very close, at least from my experience. Do you like
cool
your
points
food?
Go a long way with youngsters. My son, for instance, our nurse that takes care of my daughter, she's been with us for many years now. So since he was just a tyke, would sometimes bring over sushi, and she would relay to us how Jake ate the octopus or say something, and we're looking at her like, him, the boy who eats cheese puffs and Cheerios, well, ate sushi because he wanted to look cool, which whatever. So he eats whatever. Now he'll eat anything, well, nearly, but within the normal spectrum of dietary things. But it was just astounding that the little fellow who wouldn't eat anything decided to eat sushi because it was cool.
Boosh McFadden is here. Hail. And I want to call out Jay the Deep Minded for a second because she has been very sick recently and she's back on her feet, and it's good to see you back on around, Jay. Good to see you.
Yeah, she's always working too. She's an amazing woman. She's just always on the go, always doing something. She had the whole thing done, and then was like that much time later back in the mix. Which you have a constitution that I'm very that I admire very much. And
she
serial killer, Jacob. That seems strong. That seems like a lot. First of all, the hamster and the guinea pig died of natural causes. I had nothing to do with that, and I had nothing to do with the. I consumed the squirrel, but I didn't kill the squirrel, which seems a little weird when I say it that way too.
Yeah, I don't say that part.
Yeah, no, we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Hello, Stephen Ransom.
Hey, Stephen.
And so my experiential answer for the question earlier is close to what Jay said, but it's for me, it's been his girlfriend, who is half Japanese. And so now he eats all kinds of stuff because you go to her house for dinner and he's not going to not eat it. And it turns out, hey, I actually like it. So, and friends do impact that too. But it's amazing what we'll do when we're motivated by women. Say that.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. Oh, wow. So Mags is gifting memberships out there. What?
Oh, really?
And so is Nas. Oh no. Nas got a membership.
Oh, thank you, Mags.
Nas had a membership. Yeah. Mags out there throwing them down.
Thank you, Mags. You're amazing.
Oh, that's growing up food. You know, there's an opposite to this one though, Jay. It's when you're eating something you don't want the kid to eat. Yeah, because sometimes there are those things. Trying to think of a clever. It's too spicy. Something of that nature. But yeah, the old reverse psychology. Oh, you won't like that. I don't know.
No,
I try that at my boy when he was a kid. He's probably still not be eating it to this day. But he wasn't one for the. He's very hard-headed. Still hard-headed.
So, ladies in the chat and Megs, I'm going to play a clip for you. Thank you so much for your generous membership gifts. But does it work for you the other way? So, would you try new foods because of a dude or another girl if that's how you roll? No judgment. In fact, tell me details.
Yeah, we actually did try to do the because he was a little bit older before he started really getting into Mexican food, which in Southern California is kind of a thing. They're like, you're going to go out with your friends. They're going to go to the burrito shop, and you're just going to sit there like a dummy. So we tried using that guilt, and of course, it didn't work in the home environment. Eventually, when he went out with his friends, of course, he got the food anyway because he wanted to blend. He wanted to be cool. Or starve. No.
It's peer pressure. I think it's for me. I think it's mostly the blending. But for Mags, I gotta find the right clip. Here we go. This is for Mags.
Go hit him!
There we go. Thank you, Mags. You're amazing. From Mags, we got when my brothers and I were growing up, it was either we eat everything on our plate or starve. It's not like we were made of money back then. I grew up that way too. We were not. We had nothing, and but like the more success. My mom was a very hard worker. She pulled us out of that. And the more options I had, the less options I would eat. I think. It's a first world thing, maybe. I don't know. I like to eat Chinese foods for any reason. Okay, there you go. And so we have some members. We have new members thanks to Mags. We have Parrothead, Nosferatu the Vampire, Jacob Ironside, Gary's Back Door.
I'm mildly uncomfortable.
Robert Wilson, Gary's Back Door. Is here. Gary, are you lurking? You're a dad. You can come on the show, Gary, if you want. Maybe. Okay. Thank you so much, Megs, and welcome to some new members. So we have a few, a couple members videos up there. I want to do more with the members though. I do want to do that. I need to do that. So yeah, I'd want to share the experience and love the food he likes, even cook for him, because I know that'll make me happy and making him happy. Mags, like, wow, that's sounds like a very lucky person.
When I was because I do most of the cooking, I have for years and years and years, except for the years that I was working nights, and then that's a whole other bit though.
Right.
I'd always have food on kind of, and I know this is first world stuff where you can do this, but we'd have the primary stuff that Mrs. of the Empire and I and probably my daughter were going to eat. But then I would always have like the chicken nuggets, the frozen chicken nugget, the frozen pizza, the other on hand, just as a backup, in case the primary meal ended up being a fail, because you don't want to do that. But it's, you give them the option. They sit there like, okay, he's not going to eat that. Let's give him something he is going to eat, because you have to feed the kid. Yep. And I know, and not every, and again, I understand not everybody has the luxury of having the backup meal available to them. I get that. I'm saying if you have that luxury available to you, it's not a bad thing. Fights suck.
Yes, nobody likes the fights. Thank you, Janet, for coming, and I guess enjoy the rest of your work day as much as you can. Yeah, I will have to go back to work after this too. So it's not just you, but I am not pregnant. Well, can I say that? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can. This is
I don't feel pregnant.
You don't
Traveling one time when I was a kid, me and my siblings were chowing down in a bucket of gummy bears. Let's just say it came out. Oh yeah. Dude.
Oh Lord. Yeah. So road trip stuff. You got to be careful with this. I have a story, and this isn't a direct story. This is a Mrs. of the Empire story from when she was a youngster. But it can help you today as far as what you want to force your children to eat before they get in the car. So it was her and her mom and her dad and her little brother. And they used to take road trips all over the place. That was like the thing they did when she was growing up. So they had stopped at a Stuckey's. Stuckey's is kind of a truck stoppy diner type joint. Well, Mrs. of the Empire's dad decided that she hadn't been eating properly for however many days. They'd stopped for breakfast. And her brother got like waffles or some delightful thing, and he made her get eggs, and she didn't want eggs. And so she sat there until the eggs got cold, and then you're gonna eat those eggs before we get in the car. So she did.
Oh,
you see where this is probably going.
Eggs, not good. Don't force.
And she warned him. She's like, I don't feel good. And instead of pulling over, well, they pulled over eventually because eggs. So again, just because you want your kid to eat it, it doesn't make it probably the best decision. Timing has a lot to do with this. So the Stuckey's egg incident is carved in stone as one of those things we talk about when you're getting into the car. You may not want to eat that. And there you go. Stuckey's eggs.
Yeah, forced eggs. No, not good. Copa, I grew up like Megs. We'd starve if we didn't eat what was served to us. If we held out, we'd get yelled at. Taught me valuable life lessons in case I was captured by the Taliban. Yeah.
Yes, the likelihood of that is pretty minimal. I'm not saying impossible, but it's minimal. Nothing is ever really zero. Yeah, like I said, I can see some value in this. But like I said, it comes down to, how chaotic is your life normally? How much stability do you want in certain things? That's just like I said. There are many ways to parent. So,
and there is the eating the dinner game of chicken that you will play with your kids. Of, well, how how much time do I want to put into this? You're going to sit here till your
There's that
dinner.
too, yeah.
And how strong is their will? And then my older boy would actually, like, from making him eat stuff he didn't like enough, his anxiety would go high enough that he'd puke. So there's like it's like a game, right? It's like a video game.
That's a terrible game. That's a terrible game.
If you push X too many times, right, he blows up, and if you don't push it enough, you don't win. So it's one of those things where it depends on the kid, and
you need to gauge that.
It's a losing proposition unless you're going to be the monster who says eat your puke, which I was not.
Lord,
yeah. Hey, Anonymous, thanks for coming. Just didn't eat that night. Yeah.
No, and you know what? They're going to get hungry. Every time I think I'm in.
Yeah. We'd be ready for those kidnapping runaway plans. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it's a different experience, but I think that, like, I would eat whatever was in front of me for sure because there was nothing else coming. But yeah, it's plus kids, like, they get home and they immediately try to get into the snacks. So that's another issue entirely, right?
Yeah, that is. That's a whole separate critter. I mean, you can use the snack as a lure. If you eat at least this much of your dinner, then you can have the ho-ho or whatever. We couldn't afford ho-hos for a long time. We had to go down to the Little Debbie snacks because that's what we could afford, which are not your prime snacks. The hostess of the prime snacks, Little Debbie, is maybe 2 tiers down. Hey, Gray. Wow.
Gray.
Hey, buddy.
Great to see you, Gray. Thanks for coming. Is this morning? No, this is not morning. This is what is this for Gray, do you think? Time-wise. Let's guess.
They're like 14 hours. I thought they were about 14 hours different than we are. I don't know what the hell time that makes it, though.
No. But thanks for coming, Gray. Great to see. Always great to see you. Another dad. Another successful, handsome dad like Roman.
No, it's funny. Gray is only like a couple of years younger than me, but Gray has that painting in the closet that ages for him.
Yeah.
Or maybe I am that painting. It's remarkable because it's just like, wow, really? Because he just has a 5 in front of his birthday now too, which is, I find, astounding.
Well,
I don't have like
morning,
a 7
Gray.
in front of mine, just in case viewers are curious.
A 7, definitely not.
Not yet.
No. So for you, for your kids, Roman, what was sports like for your kids?
Sports were non-existent
at all, completely.
No, and the problem, it wasn't because they didn't want to. Actually, my daughter, the middle daughter of the Empire, dabbled in lacrosse when she got to high school, but and this goes back to just some of the things that we talked about before, and it's just it's largely based on what your family can do. Because of our disabled daughter, we didn't, like I said, we didn't take a family vacation until my son was 13 years old, and because we couldn't, that's the first time. So we weren't able to do sports. It was because of my work schedule in the Navy and Mrs. of the Empire managing my daughter. There were a lot of things, and we were, we're not happy about it. There are a lot of things that my kids ended up missing out on.
Mm-hmm.
Sports, Cub Scouts, all this stuff. If it wasn't something they could get to on their own, which, in the modern age is pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
That was it. It sucked.
You know what? But that's the reality. That's the thing. When you're dealing with a disability, it's the whole family that's involved in it. It's not just a parent, and it's not just it's the entire family is sort of in on this together. And no one chose it. No,
I mean, like I said, and we talked about this a little bit on the last stream. Where if you're in an area where you have family,
mm-hmm.
and you have this type of situation, you have a lot more avenues available to you. We were on our own. That was it, and then there just wasn't a way to make it work that was going to not create this giant chaos bubble and make everything actually worse, which which can happen. So yeah, just the whole ball of wax.
Lyle Hammock. So he says, if my daughter had my wife's stubbornness, I won't be able to outlast her over food. I mean, you have a very strong wife from what you've said. So yeah, I wouldn't want to fight her either for that personality. Yeah. So Jacob knows what I mean too, because Jacob deals with that as well. Jay says, my dad was a high school sports teacher and outdoor activities instructor. These things were not optional in our house. Hello, JJ Abrams. Gap After Dark / Gap Stargate / JJ Abrams. Good to see you. So for me, it was because the kids are so far enough apart in age that pretty much my older boy got his sports stuff until COVID decided that sports were no longer going to be a thing for a couple of years up here. And so I didn't have to deal with that. But when it came time for me, like I always coached and I love coaching. And there was no choice but to give that up because, I have a kid with high needs and it's not fair to put that all on my wife. So I don't.
Right.
And it turns out like that's one of the things that I'm good at is hanging out with my kid who's high energy and he can get into trouble, but I don't know. That's as a dad, it's kind of easy for me to do. And then my wife is dealing with all the detailed stuff like, the shopping and the planning and all that. I just kind of make sure that, our kid is not running between cars kind of thing sometimes.
Well, that's good. That's good. Division of labor. We do our best. Like I said, when I'm out here doing this, she's in there doing that. It's you don't want one or the other to get overwhelmed with that kind of situation. That's what being you star killer. Me being home now does afford a bit more flexibility, which is great. But it took my entire adult life to get to this point, and a lot of time away from home to get to this point. So it wasn't just suddenly wham bam. But it is good since we're as an older parent of a disabled child, nothing gets easier. So the two of us are able to manage things better than we could if it was just one of us taking care of this stuff all the time now. So that's one of the advantages of getting older.
Well, and that's the one thing that we've talked about. We touched on, I think, last time a little bit, is that it doesn't get easier. Like a lot of things get easier with age, and this is one thing that does not necessarily get easier. They just get stronger.
Yeah. No, when she was little, you could just pick her up. But now, we talked about bedtime, and going full Hulk. It's hard. And like I said, you're trying to prevent her from hurting herself, anyone else, basically my wife and I, or causing, damage of some kind in the room. Which, that wouldn't have been a thing, if she was 2 feet taller and weighed, 30 pounds less. It's just, it's the world that we have. So that's the things that we have to, and we talk about, what's, in 10 years, what are we going to be like? What is she going to be like? It's, these are the future things that are just the uncertainties of, having a child with a disability like this. You don't know what the future holds.
So Copa, yeah, you're going to spoil her. And also careful. Like if she has calves like yours, she's going to be a runner. So yeah, keep her close. And Jay got my revenge on Dad for making me go rock climbing by taking up horse riding. He is scared of horses like I was scared of heights. So good for you. That's a great hobby if you can get it. Horseback riding is awesome.
I tried to take my son hiking.
Yeah.
And I wrecked it for him, and I didn't mean to. It wasn't intentional. He was, I think, probably 6. I figure he's 6. He's got a lot of energy. But the hike I planned was it's not a very hard hike until you get to the top, and then it gets kind of steep. And he just was not having it. I couldn't even guilt him into it. He was just angry and pissed. Then he was angry and pissed all the way down. He still tells the story about how he was angry and pissed because I tried to make him do this when he was 6. He went out with me later on, and we did other hikes. But then Mrs. of the Empire, I don't know if I've told you the story where I kind of had him loaded up. He was older by this point.
Okay.
9 or 10. 9 or 10? We'll call it 9 or 10 because I don't remember. And we were doing a pretty aggressive, not necessarily steep, but long hike. And I'd put like 4 water bottles in his pack. And she thought his pack was too heavy. And so she took out 2 of the water bottles. But I didn't know she had taken out 2 of the water bottles.
No.
So we're like halfway there, maybe. And I'm like, hey, do you have any, can you give me some water? And he's like, yeah, we're this is all we have left. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I thought the bag was too heavy. I'm like, we're gonna die. So I get him. I get the poor kid back. It's hot and it's not. There's no shade. It's just because it's Southern California. It's just open areas.
Yeah.
We finally get the kid. I get the poor kid back to the visitor center, and I'm being nice the whole time we're hiking. I'm like, you're doing good, son. You're doing really good, buddy. And I'm like, oh, he's so red. Oh, don't let him die. And there's nobody else out there, so it's just us. We finally get back to the visitor center. He is just red, and he's sucking down water out of the public fountain like a hobo. It was just like, oh my god, honey, did you take water out of the bag? Well, it was too heavy.
Oh my god,
you almost killed us.
Yeah, yes. Thanks, Mom. That's great.
You did good. You lighten the pack.
It was kind of important. So hey, awesome one. That's why communication is important in a relationship.
It is. We're usually much better than that. It was like many years ago, but it's still funny, and she still defends her position that the bag was too heavy.
Anano Moss took my kids 6 or 7 to the Boy Scouts for a few times, and then my wife took him to the bathroom, but went into the girls instead, and the boys while other kids were around, and he never went back. Okay. Yeah. How to make your child hate nature by Roman. I like that. That's good. We're gonna take you on an exhausting trek, and we're not gonna give you water, but hey, it's lighter. You're good. It's fine.
He survived. He became strong.
Communication, yes, yeah. I mean, you kind of have to have it. Oh, there's another. Damn, you're never done with this hamster.
No, let it go.
You're never gonna get rid of it. Lyle Hammock spent my childhood basically outside growing up on that's cool. 160-acre ranch in rural southern Alabama.
That's crazy.
I hope that even though I live in the city now, I can give I don't know what that word is. My daughter the same experience.
I don't know either.
And Clemé?
I'm dumbfounded.
Okay.
Lyle, you've dumbfounded us.
Yes, we have been dumbfounded. Now, I do know you named her from something from Lord of the Rings. Is that right? So I don't know.
I got nothing.
My parents were married 40 plus years, and some communication slip up sometimes. Yes, I mean they do, but
usually it's my fault. Quite honestly, it's generally my fault when these things happen, and I know it, and I recognize it. Of course, it's after the event has occurred, or I've caused some kind of kerfuffle that I didn't mean to do. But right. It's like, because often, and she knows that I do this at this point. I think I have told her something in my head. We have had this conversation, when in reality, we have not had this conversation, and it's just me and my imaginary, Misses of the Empire in my head that had this talk. She's like, we never talked about this. We did. It was like a couple days ago. No, we haven't. And she's right. And then suddenly people are coming over and I'm in a lot of trouble. Have you ever heard else said we're headed there?
I've been there. I'm that same way. Because so in my defense, if she's going to tell me something a dozen times, well, I don't know when I'm going to have to listen. And like, what is the important time for me to know this?
Which one is the important time?
Right. I don't know. Yeah. I told you this. Well, yes, but because you told me a dozen times, I didn't listen.
They're all the important times.
Never say that. Not a good out. Never works out well. Yeah, it always happens. Guys are terrible at communicating. Yes.
You know, we try. We try. You know, we're good at many things. It's you know, you really do try to stay on top of communication. It's just sometimes with all the other stuff, things get lost. But really, is it because of the hamster thing? I don't understand.
I think so.
Yeah, could be.
All right, we're going to bathroom talk again.
That got weird.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
Wait, terrible though. Terrible at communicating. I think terrible may be strong. Sometimes we lack specificity in detail, and when I say that, I mean giving you the plan at all. Sometimes I know exactly what we're doing, and like I said, I thought we've talked about this, and we haven't, and then I'm in trouble. And I just accept when I'm in trouble at this point.
So this is also true. Men can communicate without really using words, and we do it quite a bit. It is a thing, and it seems to not always cross over. It's not as intergender transferable. There's a lot of like body language and like stuff that you look and kind of know what each other's gonna do, because we only do a few things, and so our selections are rather slim. So you can guess what we're gonna do in this situation, and so that's kind of what we do, and that's like a teamwork thing that I think maybe it goes. I don't know what it goes back to, but like if you've been in scouts or any kind of military or sports, you just get used to that level of communication, and we're probably like, we're not talking about how we feel about stuff. It's about
just doing.
Yeah. It's a couple of people walk in, you're having a house party, and these guys look kind of a bit sketchy, and you look at each other and you kind of know what you're going to have to do. You don't have to talk about it or call a meeting. It's like, okay, well, we know we got these guys. We got to watch these guys and then get them out of here. And that's like, you don't have to have that talk. And we deal with things like that maybe more often too than, and things like you shouldn't have to say, don't take the water out without telling me. Like that's a communication thing, but water is kind of important on a hike, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beep.
What are you thinking?
Thank you, Mags. No, we love you. And so I have a dad reflexes story that I haven't told. This was for my older son. We were in Mexico, in Cabo, and a long time ago. He was probably 8, 9, walking along the beach, and of course it's a red flag beach, and of course I don't care about that. And so we're walking along the beach, and it's no big deal. But did you know that if you're walking in ankle deep water and you're just a kid, that tide can rip you right out? Because I didn't know that. And the comes out and it pulls me a little bit, but like, I'm not going anywhere. That's fine. His feet go right up from under him, and he starts tumbling through the water. And I grabbed him by his suit. I caught him with the one hand, pulled him out of the water, and he was just covered in sand. Sand was in everything. That was the end of that day. He was pretty annoyed about the whole thing because it was my idea and I thought it would be fine. And so, I guess we didn't communicate well there. And I should have said, don't fall in the water, dummy, but I didn't.
Well, that's a lot. That's the things you know you can't anticipate always. Can't anticipate everything. You try, Dad. You try.
There we go. Here's Lyle. So my daughter's
Okay.
yes, I knew you had named her from that, but I yet. Seventh ruler and first queen of Numenor, which talk about communication. My wife was not pleased, and as you, Zaxx, I had given something up to get that name. Okay. Yes. Well, some. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what it is. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. What? Whoa, 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 whoa.
I got it in Lyle. You're good.
Whoa.
Awesome one. Go back up here. I don't. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Nod of
that's
the head is good enough.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, Boosh is the. We're gonna leave the fingers thing. Sorry, Boosh. That's anonymous. It's amazing how quickly you can react when it's your kid, and that you're willing to sell out. It doesn't matter. Like you're not worried about. Well, you're not doing math of this. Will this hurt me more than it would have hurt him?
Right.
Had I not make this, if I don't make this save, you just do it. It is a thing. Dad reflexes exist. I'm sure mom reflexes exist too, but yeah, it's like a something that you're just kind of, it's that protective thing, and it's the idea that you think in a split second that maybe if you hit the car, somehow that will move the car out of the way enough that your kid will be fine. It doesn't always make sense. I didn't do that, but
no,
right. It's the whole you're gonna make that dive and try to make the save. That's our gimmick.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had to do that with my son.
No, that's probably good parenting.
Well, or maybe there were times I should have. Like I said, middle daughter of the Empire, I had to jump in to stop her from drowning. Is that the one? I don't, in the blur of all the things, because I remember that one distinctly. At the pool, little hand coming up, and then in you go. But I don't think I ever had to do anything for him. I know he did things later on for other people, but I don't remember if I had to do anything. I don't think I did. Which I'm pretty happy about, honestly.
I mean, but like as a Navy man, you're probably waiting for a Marine to come and make the save, right, Roman?
No, they don't do a whole lot. They eat too much. And they stand in lines. That's pretty much what the Marines do, as far as my experience with them goes. Personally, I would tell them that to Max when I see him next.
Boosh? Oh, what? A mortar? Oh, nice save, Boosh.
What are you doing?
I'm going to read this out. I tackled my girlfriend's 4-year-old when she ran towards a mortar on 4th. So that must be some kind of fireworks. Spun and rolled, slid on my back. I thought it was great fun. Yeah, they always enjoy that. Good save, Boosh.
That's good. That's an angry bear. What? These are far more interesting.
Yes.
Than,
better stories than the one that I had. That's for sure. I went on a skateboard ramp in my wheelchair one time. Did not end.
Oh my God, Jacob! Oh, yeah.
Woke up with my firefighter uncle asking me how many fingers he's holding up.
Wow, that was a bold move, Jacob. I'm going to say that's a bold move.
I was covering, but you still had a face, so that was a nice save for sure.
All right, well, good, yeah.
Was your okay? So subtle. Are you related to Daniel Boone? Is this like a family tree thing? Maybe. Faces are good, Boosh.
Sure.
Or awesome one.
Okay.
Mortar is a cardboard tube that shoots into the air like it's fireworks. Okay.
Fireworks. Okay.
Gotcha.
Pretty good assumption with the 4th of July, but depending on what state you're in, you actually don't know. I mean, it could, like in California, they're illegal, but in Texas, you can have a grand array of different things.
My friend and I hauled his daughter out of the pool when she fell in. Boosh, you're like in the right place at the right time to save these kids quite a bit.
Yeah, pools are inherently dangerous. They just
Yeah.
it's one of those things, and you're even if you're right there and watching, and then you see the thing happen, then still you got to go in and do the save. Um, just it's pool, man. They are what they are. Just you need to be vigilant all the time.
Yep. Bear cubs ran past my uncle and Gramps, and the angry mother bear followed.
Wow. I have never seen a bear in the real world.
Really? I guess California, eh?
I mean, down here, no. And even when I climbed Whitney many moons ago, lots of marmots. They're not very interesting, and an F ton of deer, but nothing in the big furry Ichi kind of category.
I was thinking the same thing, Copa, but I wasn't going to say it. But there you go.
These are all good questions, Copa. All good questions.
Did you say there was treasure in the mortar before she ran towards it? I mean, it could be. So Jacob, one of my ancestors, served under Daniel Boone. There you go. There is a connection out there somewhere. Wow. We were the only ones who moved. It was a pool party with over a dozen people who were both there at the same time. So that is a real thing too. That's a good example actually, because there is this thing where people freeze. There's people who are just going to freeze. And then there's people who are going to take a video of it. That's the other new breed we've created. We have the people who will act, the people who won't, and the people who act in a way that it helps no one. Basically,
no, that's actually worse than just freezing up, because you could be doing something and you're choosing not to.
And that's also what we talked about, the communication. So sometimes this not just dudes, but often you can pick in a crowd. You can see the people who you can count on right away in an emergency. As soon as it happens, you can see who each other are and you can act, and you don't have to like tell everyone or it's just people act, and you can tell who they're going to be almost not all the time, but fairly often. It's not hard to see who those people are. Mags, I remember drowning in a kiddie pool because I was 3 or 4 and couldn't twist around to pull myself up. My legs were dropped over the edge and I couldn't move and pull myself out. Mom saved me.
Oh,
mom reflexes could be hot.
Wow.
And I suspect Mags' mom is cute. Suspect that.
Safe bet. It's a safe bet.
Yeah. Fuse looked like, okay, so she thought it was a sparkler. So I've seen lots of bears. We have tons of bears here. There's black bears here.
Wow.
There's coyotes like right here. But there's
coyotes. We have coyotes all over the damn place down here.
They're assholes too.
Well, they are, because they eat the pets.
Yeah.
And depending on the season, depending on how much foliage is out there, which means how much there is for them to eat, because that's where all the other little critters live, they'll start coming down into the neighborhoods and you'll see them down here.
Kids were at a patio party, putting a piece of paper in the AC unit, trying to catch it. You'll lose a finger. Oh no.
Is there a friend with 9 fingers?
I'm the uncle who says you can only do it 10 times. 40-day hike. That's impressive. I've never. Yeah.
Did you have enough water? That's the question.
Yes. Did your mom take your water away? Yeah.
Wow.
Thank God the bear walked away. Yeah, that's lucky. Here bears are fairly common. Anywhere outside of the cities, there's going to be bears, especially black bears. We have polar bears a little bit north of us. Well, a little bit, quite a lot north of us. We have polar bears.
Technically, so do I, but that's
true. But they get brave too, so they do come down when they get hungry. The polar bears, not to where I am, but they're worse than black bears. We don't really have grizzlies here that much. I've never seen one anyway. Mags is a clone of your mom. Well, I'll have to meet her someday.
Cool.
40. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
See, they're assholes.
the coyotes are assholes. They're the assholes of the canine kingdom.
Yep. Worse than foxes.
We don't have those. I mean, we're pretty limited because we're desert. We kind of have just certain things out here.
Yeah, Jay, the people in the UK decided, you know what, we don't want animals. We're gonna kill everything. And they did. They did. There's nothing. Polar bears, yeah, they are bad. There's
not a big threat down here.
There's small towns north of us who they have their polar bear siren, and when it goes off, everyone has to go run inside.
Wow, they have a polar bear siren.
And then people, because you can't shoot them unless you're in imminent danger. So kind of sometimes have to wait for them to screw off on their own. Yeah, they come in. We have deer here too, though. So but also pets. Probably.
Yeah, they're looking for pets if they're coming down into our part of the neighborhood. Because I mean, there are rabbits and stuff, like I said, up in the hills. But during the dry season, there's everything dies because it's the hills get ready to burn in the fall. So yeah, they come down to the neighborhoods looking for snacks.
And so,
hey, Stephen Walton.
Hey, Walton, thanks for coming, Stephen. And so, I'd like to have him join us on this show. So
yes. Yeah, his son just dropped some music. It's over on his site. If you check that out, yeah, he posted that yesterday.
Well, it's Walton. If you want, we're gonna wrap it up right away. But if you have a link for your boy's stuff that you want to share, Walton, I'll make you a mod, and then go for it. I'd send you a link. Oh, Mark, the Infinitely Tighter's here. Hello, Mark. Thanks for coming. I have to wrap up pretty quick because it's about dadding time for me here. So I got to get off that, but definitely next time, Walton, whenever you're free, swing it. Thanks for leaving the like. Okay, so what do you have coming up?
So on Thursday, it's going to be me and Copa, Mando, Joker Voice, and Pops are all getting in the mix, and we are going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. The wild ride that Season 3 has been. So that'll be Thursday at 5 Pacific Standard. On Saturday, I should, short of disaster, be over with PJ Maybe for Let's Talk Geeky at 12 Pacific Standard. And on Sunday, I'm going to be over with Wookie Be Bad at 12:30. I have to look. It's 12 or 12:30 Pacific Standard for his show. So kind of busy. And then the following week, I'm off to Las Vegas for the Friday Night Tights meetup.
Oh, that's awesome! That's gonna be. You're gonna have a blast, Roman.
I'm terrified. This is my first trip I've taken by myself that is not business related. In I think forever would be the proper term.
So yes, please subscribe to Roman if you're not. His link is also, it's in the description. It's also at the top of the chat. It's pinned there. Please give him a subscribe if you have not for whatever reason. And if you have more than one account, you can subscribe as many times as you want. We're also on Rumble right now, and that link is also in the description. So if you would like to sub there, that would be awesome. Rumble has been doing pretty well. 14 people watching there right now. It looks like 28 here. So it's growing over there, and they offer a lot to their creators right now. It's just about seeing if you can get people to come and watch you over there or not. But right now anyone can get memberships, and they don't take all of the money goes to the creators directly. So all your fees go right to them. There's no for all of 2023, which is kind of cool. And yeah. Okay, so I got Wednesday. There was no ejection stream last night, so Placid canceled that one.
Yeah, I hope he's doing all right. I got scared. Every time he cancels something, I get scared.
I did too. He's fine. He's just Thank you, Coppola.
Very reliable.
I hope you guys are liking these streams, and if you have suggestions about how we should cover things or things topics you want to talk about, or if you want to join us, then just let us know. Both of our Twitter are in the description, so
Yep.
feel free to contact us. And I'm always looking for new ideas and things that because this is kind of something that's missed in the fandom. We don't really talk about things like this. It's more about things like Mandalorian, which is he going to die?
I hope so. I hope so much. I want him, and I want Baby Yoda to die too. I want Baby Yoda to die like a hamster.
Baby ATM card is not going to be dying for sure. This stream is so early. It is early. Yeah, it's a daytime thing. Yeah. So Wednesday at 9 Central, I am going to be having my Wednesday show. I do have a topic and guests, but they're a secret. So come by and see what we're doing. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be it's a cool topic, a topic that I think you guys are going to like, and we have lots of great recommendations for things to check out as a result.
Right on.
So thank you very much, Bobby Wold, for hanging out. I'm glad you took notes, Copa. I'll be around later. Secrets, yes. Baby George Lucas. Yeah, I mean, kind of it is. It kind of is. And I'm going to play us out with.
Let this be the hour when we draw swords together. Fell deeds awake.